Always, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Wadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who will well, and salutations to the brothers that push his word in truth and in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. Coming back again to bring out the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, to go into prophecy and chant down Babylon, you know, and help Yahushua usher in the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, now, as of late, there's been this balloon that supposedly is a spy drone that came from China, flew across the Pacific Ocean, flew over a little bit of Canada, and then crossed over into America on the Montana border.
Yep.
You know, flew into Missouri and so on and so forth, and according to predictions, Edomite predictions, if it follows the jet stream, it's gonna end up going through like Tennessee, Virginia, and North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, and then on into the Pacific Ocean. Now,
Atlantic.
the Atlantic Ocean, and you know, they said that the balloon has some type of there's something controlling it, because it doesn't naturally follow a wind pattern. It's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Right now, you got the U.S. saying that it's Chinese. It's a Chinese spy drone. You know, which all right, you know, that could be so. But knowing the history of Esau, you'd be a fool to believe the first thing he puts on the TV. Okay, now that could be some spy drone or something that America and Canada came up with and pretty much launched.
Yeah.
And they're using the Chinese as a scapegoat because they want to build that tension up with China, so that way they can send troops over to the South China Sea, because you got tension between China and Taiwan.
Yep.
Now Taiwan is a ally to America, and they drastically need backup over there in the South China Sea. So what better way than to use this spy drone? Oh, the Chinese. Well, we got to send troops over there and fleets and vessels because you know, because the Chinese is a threat. You know, so I mean, who knows if that's the case? But that wouldn't be far fetched. You know.
One thing, if you know America's track record, they never tell you what danger that's right ahead is impending. They'll never tell you about the shit. They'll let you know about after the fact that the trouble's already gone, because they don't want people to panic.
Yep.
So if that's their track record, why would they up and tell you that China sent this shit up here? Because that would directly put people in fright, man, make people scared. They don't want that shit. So that's all an avenue. Hey, matter of fact, that movie Don't Look Up, they show you that they don't tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, they keep it from you until they can manipulate or push the narrative the way they want to.
Yeah. And look at all these situations with Al Qaeda, the Taliban, ISIS. All right, they're all funded by the American government. But then on TV, they're labeled as the enemy. All right, so Esau has a history, America has a history of doing shit like that, you know. But read that Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 38 and 10. It reads, "Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought.
Yep.
And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages."
Right, and this is talking about Gog and Magog. All right, because in the heading of this chapter it says prophecy against Gog. Now, America is a land of unwalled villages. Okay, meaning there's no physical border that separates Canada and America. Literally, there's certain parts of America. You go to Montana, and you just walk north, you're gonna be in Canada. Now it's a
Bellingham or I think what city? Blaine, Washington. That you can walk through and you walk in it, and on the other side of the street, you're in Canada. It's just a regular street like this. You walk through it, you be in Canada on the other side.
Half U.S., half Canada based.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that goes for North America and for the northern border of America and the southern border of America. The majority of the border is not walled off. Or it's not like a Jericho.
Right.
It's not fortified like that. So this place, America, is a land of unwalled villages. Okay? Even within the states. Or you don't have borders as far as walls that border off one state from the next. Okay, go ahead.
Reading on, it says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates.
Right. So Americans, they're at rest. They feel safe. Here it is. You got the so-called Crown Royal that happened. And despite that, messing up people's regular life. And pretty much Esau putting an anaconda squeeze on society. People, they're just going along with it, man, because they're at ease, they're at rest. All right, they're that proverbial frog that's being boiled in that pot.
Yeah.
Here it is, they're dying, but at least it's warm. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, over in Ukraine, you got in Europe, you got people freezing to death. Certain parts of America, you got people freezing to death. But just because that calamity hasn't happened on a grand scale and the power grid is still up and running, people are they're comfortable here.
Shit, there's rolling blackouts in the States, man.
Yeah.
Some people are going without power for so many hours in every day.
California is facing that. They're calling it brownouts, because it's kind of scheduled, but their power grid can't sustain the amount of power that they're actually pulling from it.
Yeah.
Especially with them signing that decree that all the cars being sold has to be electric, and they put a big, huge strain on the power grid,
Man, they say Elon Musk was going into how with 100 square miles in the desert somewhere in Arizona, California, or Nevada, you can have 100 yards of straight up, what is that energy they were using with the panels? Solar panels. And the batteries would only take 1 square mile to charge the whole United States.
Wow.
So they're full of shit, man. Hey,
What's going on?
What's this?
We preaching the Bible. Yep. Go ahead, bro. Oh, also at the same time, can somebody look up Russian warships surrounding the U.S.?
Oh, surrounding the U.S. Yeah.
Because you got Russian ships that's also surrounding the U.S. over in Alaska. All right, the Pacific, the Atlantic, over by D.C. And they said that these Russian warships are, I think international waters is 25 miles off the coast of whatever island.
Off the East Coast.
There's some up there in Alaska too. But 25 miles off the coast is international waters, I believe. And literally, they were saying that Russia is literally 25 miles off the coast, as close to America as they could possibly be without breaking any international laws, so to say. And they said that the type of missiles that, the nuclear missiles that those submarines have capability of launching would be able to target the center of America with a EMP. All right, they launched a EMP from those subs. That EMP via the height that it can travel, it can literally detonate when it's over the center of America, and that itself, that radius, it'll take off. It'll take all of America. It'll have all of America go black. You know, so that's a strategic location. You know, Esau, as far as Gog and Magog, the Russians, they're playing chess, man. Mm-hmm. You know, meanwhile America is playing checkers.
Yep. Shit, one strategic missile in the Yellowstone, right? And I'd have blew up the whole West Coast, man. Because the Yellowstone's a big ass fucking volcano.
Super volcano.
What they call it.
Yep.
You know? So that motherfucker, if it blows, it's gonna blow the whole West Coast off. You know? So one strategically placed missile in that motherfucker, and that's a wrap. We can't forget about the San Andreas fault line too. You know, hit one of those volcanoes, it could trigger every one of them. Yeah, that's that right there. The Yellowstone's on that fault. It connects. Yeah, all that shit connects. Check the whole shit over here. Right. Did you want to read this article? Yeah. Okay, this is from the CNN. It says, U.S. Coast Guard tracking suspected Russian spy ship off the coast of Hawaii in international waters.
Right. Yeah, off the coast of Hawaii. International waters, because you got to remember, Hawaii is part of the U.S. and they got military bases up there too.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. That happened in Hawaii. Okay.
All right. Reading on, it says the United States, or the U.S. Coast Guard, says it is tracking a suspected Russian spy ship off the coast of Hawaii in international waters as heightened tensions between Washington and Moscow remain over Russia's war in Ukraine. It says in recent weeks, the U.S. Coast Guard has continued to monitor a Russian vessel believed to be an intelligence gathering ship off the coast of the Hawaiian island. The USCG said in a news release, it says U.S. set to finalize massive security aid package from Ukraine, including Stryker combat vehicles for the first time. It says the Coast Guard noted the situation is not usual, but that it is tracking it closely, while foreign military vessels may transit freely through the U.S. economy exclusive zone as per customary international laws. Foreign flag military vessels have often been observed operating and loitering within Coast Guard District 14's area of response.
Okay. Is there another one dealing with the East Coast? Type in Russian ships off the East Coast. Surrounding the East Coast. All right.
I've seen videos for the East Coast thing. I don't see an article here though.
Okay. Just read the article and try to find, see if you can see something on the stuff. Go back to
all right, this is back in Ezekiel 38:12. It says, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine head upon the desolate places.
Thine hand.
To turn. Ezekiel 38:12. To take a spoil, to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
Right, because America used to be a desolate place before. You know, when did America when did it become inhabited?
When the Jesus started, they had this ship. They named it Jesus that brought slaves over here. That's when they started bringing us over here and started really colonizing the land because they didn't know how to work the land. That was in I believe 1612.
But when did America become inhabited?
Inhabited. Oh, when Northern Kingdom came across, got shipped here by the Syrians, because they got tired of dealing with the oppressors over there.
Yeah.
So they came over the land or the Bering Straits sometime.
No, because Bering Strait, you know where that's located, right?
Yeah, in Alaska. In the
Yeah.
Aleutian
Now
Mountains.
they try to say that's how they got here. Esau tried to say that's how natives got here.
But they got
because
here by ships
yeah. And where can we read that at?
in the Apocrypha.
Exactly. You know, so that's America used to be uninhabited, you know, but then it became inhabited with first and foremost the Northern Kingdom coming over here to the Americas, Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, Naphtali, so on and so forth. And then, like you said, us coming over here, the Southern Kingdom coming into captivity. That's when that's when America became inhabited, but it started with the Northern Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. You looking for something? You can't find it? No, I never heard that. Oh, yeah, if you want to grab it now. Or you can grab it if you want to.
This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 41. We started at 39. It's 2nd Ezra 13 and 39. It says, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which are carried away prisoners out of their own land into the time of Osias the king, who Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Right, that another land is talking about America.
It said, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Right, so that's, the account of the Northern Kingdom coming over here to the Americas, and they came to get away from the heathens and to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, which they didn't end up keeping. But yeah, that's how America became inhabited. So jump back to that, read 12 again. Ezekiel 38 and 12.
Ezekiel 38, verse 12. It reads, to take a spoil, to take a prey, and to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited.
Right, because this place, America, used to be a complete, a desolate place before the Northern Kingdom came here. It was a bunch of, it was a paradise. Because the word Eden, you know what the word Eden means? You know how to say it in the Hebrew?
No, I don't know how to say it in Hebrew, but isn't that Garden of Paradise
Well,
or sanctuary?
no,
Or does it mean where they study a laboratory?
no, it's Eden comes from Hebrew word Idan, which means paradise or joy.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when the scriptures talk about a garden eastward in Eden, it's talking about Jerusalem, the land of Israel. Because the whole earth is a paradise. When it's in its pristine state, when it's not tampered with and polluted
Polluted by
Esau, it's a paradise. You know what I'm saying? The whole planet. But the garden that was eastward in Eden, the garden being Jerusalem, the land of Israel, right? That place was eastward in Eden. The whole entire planet being a paradise, being Eden. But you had a certain place that was eastward, being Jerusalem, that the Lord chose to be his special place. All right?
Galatians 4 and 26 says, but Jerusalem which is free, but Jerusalem which is above is free, which is the mother of us all.
I was just about to say
break that down.
a lot of people like to say, hey, go back to Africa, because they consider us Africans, but we're not. Those are Hamites. They are the Egyptians, and the Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Yeah.
And we're from Israel, and not only are we from Israel, pretty much everybody's from
Everybody,
Israel.
yeah. Yep. That's the mother of the song. Yep.
It says, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods.
Right. The people that are gathered out of the nations that have gathered cattle and goods. You got various Edomite tribes, you know, the Polish, the French, the English, the Germans, all right, Russians, so on and so forth, that have came over here and gotten rich. You got Elam come over here get rich. You got Moab come over here get rich. Ammon, Ham, Japheth, all these other nations come over here to America and have been able to accumulate wealth, generational wealth, own their own farms. You know, they selling you groceries. Here it is, over in their country where they came from, they was dirt poor, but then after being here a generation or two, they're selling you goods. You know what I'm saying? So all these nations have been gathered from all these other nations here in America for a specific purpose.
And they give you an attitude when you buy stuff from them.
Right.
Yep.
How do you ever buy?
That's the thing that,
They hate you.
yeah, that's the thing.
negative.
I'm sitting there putting your kids through college, and you giving me an attitude. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Idiot is what he is.
That's because they hate you.
Yep.
But they still want your money.
Yep.
You know?
They market to you, but they hate you in their stores.
Yeah. It says that dwell in the midst of the land. Verse 13, it says Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish with all the youth, the young lions thereof.
Right. Sheba is talking about southern Arabia. Dedan is also talking about southern Arabia. And Tarshish is talking about the Spanish. Spain. So Sheba and Dedan, when you look those two words up in the blue letter, it tells you that Sheba is referring to southern Arabia. Dedan is also talking about southern Arabia, and Tarshish is talking about the Spanish. So those are examples of individuals who have came to America and accumulated wealth. Right? Read start at 12 again and read down.
Ezekiel 38:12. It says to take a spoil, to take a prey, and to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land.
Right. You go to any major city and you got Arabs there.
Yep.
All right. You got Spaniards all around Babylon the Great.
Yep.
A lot of look at the West Coast, man. It's a lot of Spanish influence in the West Coast. It's a lot of Spanish influence in the Southeast. You know. All right, go ahead.
Hey.
I have a thing about those.
Verse
I
13.
fell on them and broke my back, so I don't step on them no more.
Okay. Verse 13. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold? To take away cattle and goods? To take a great spoil?
Right, and that's with this war brewing up, World War III brewing up. Proverbially, that's what these heathens that have come here to America. They don't want to see America vulnerable. If that so-called spy balloon is actually a spy balloon from China, surveilling America, and Russia got the coast of America cornered off. All right, that shows the vulnerability of America, and that has these heathens that came over here and is living good. That got them in an uncomfortable situation, because now it's like they ain't patriotic. Them dot heads and all that shit, they ain't patriotic because they still worship the idols that are native to them in their country. If they were truly patriotic, they'd stop wearing the dot on their forehead and wrapping their head up, and they'd become Christians.
Going to Trump rallies?
Yeah, going to Trump rallies and make America great again, all that.
Believe in the Constitution?
Yeah, believe in it, all that shit. But they don't. This is just, America is simply their cash cow. That's why it said in verse 13, it says, "Or thou come to take a spoil," and then it says to carry away silver and gold, and to take away cattle and goods, and to take a great spoil, because that cattle, goods, gold, all that, that's what they accumulated. They came here for the specific purpose of accumulating that, and they don't want to see that go bye-bye. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Lord power, in that day when my people of Israel shall, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shall thou not know it?
Right, so even the Russians, the Lord using them to pretty much be the adversary to America, all right, because they're gonna be the main ones that destroy America, the so-called Russians, via those thermonuclear missiles, with help from China and India and so on, Pakistan, Iran, so on and so forth.
Did you hear Thailand is in an uproar right now because the princess of Thailand took...
Oh yeah. She dropped dead, right?
She took the jab and she's in a coma.
Yeah,
right
there we
now.
go. Yeah.
And then when they asked how she got it, their doctors basically told them that the American people who sold them this drug straight up lied to them, and they all got up from their tables like this instead of. So they're the first country to nullify the contract they got with Pfizer. So they're not paying Pfizer anymore. In fact, they want their money back from Pfizer, which is $70 billion.
That's
$70 billion?
$70 billion. They gave them $70 billion to give their princess, put their princess into a coma.
I hope she don't even bounce back from that shit, man. Because that's more fuel for that fire, man.
Exactly.
That's all that is. They're gonna hate the war.
Russia hasn't even done that yet.
That's three.
Yeah, have drunken ordination, have drunken.
That's Revelation 18.
No, not that. It's 3 and 4.
I got you, bro.
There's another one too. Habakkuk. Second chapter.
Second year. Okay, 2.
Go ahead with that name.
Okay. You want to start at 4?
Yeah, that's cool.
This is Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft, says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. And that witchcraft that they're selling nations through is their philosophy, their doctrine, man. You know, with them pushing that pale, blue-eyed, blonde-haired image of who they call Jesus. That's a false. That's witchcraft, man. That's blasphemy. All right. Verse 5. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame."
Yeah, and that's what's happening now. The Lord is showing America to be naked, and showing the kingdoms of the earth America's shame. You know, the way America has got over on all these nations, and the backhand, or the deals that America has done. All right, pretty much the wicked rulership of America. Mm-hmm. You know, them putting certain people to death, the coups that they set up. You know, they set up these coups to overthrow governments. You know what I'm saying? They got the economic hitmen, so on and so forth, all that. It's all being made known. And it's all, it's coming out that, all these presidents is nothing but warlocks.
Yep.
These people in Congress and senators are all witches and warlocks, man.
Yep.
In the pedophilia, in the child trafficking, human trafficking, drinking blood, spirit cooking, all that. So with that being made known, that's the Lord showing this place, America, for what it really is, which is complete wickedness.
Verse 6, it says, I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
Right, so the Most High is got America, and it's going to continue to gradually get worse and worse to where the nations is going to be looking at America like, man, fuck that place. Fuck that, like, it's going to be a, hold that, can you hold that, Revelation, shall hate the whore, excuse me. All right, because not only these other nations, but in particular the European nations they're gonna hate America. Here it is that they're allies and they're all a part of NATO. A lot of those European countries are a part of NATO, but eventually they ain't even gonna mess with America.
Isn't there a Bible script that says that England will be embarrassed of America?
Yeah.
That's
The mother which bare thee
They're like
shall be
this.
ashamed.
Yeah, the mother which bore thee shall be, if you can find that in Scripture.
This is Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Right. So those EU countries, they gonna hate the whore being America. Right? Read that again.
Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Right. So those EU countries is gonna hate America, man, and burn this place with fire. Okay. Hey, shalom to y'all brothers in Idaho. The GMS Idaho. Yeah, so these EU nations is gonna hate America, man, and that's rightfully so, because they're the EU countries, those European countries are, next door neighbors to Russia. So when shit pop off, they got to deal with that confrontation first. The repercussions first. And another thing too, that situation with the Israelis blowing up Iran, various targets in Iran. They were saying it really don't matter, because first and foremost, you got America and other European countries that are funneling and sending weaponry and whatnot to Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? Hey, somebody want to give me do we have the other one? Right. I got it. So they're sending that shit to Ukraine. They were saying like Spain. It was either Spain or Portugal. I forget which one. I think it was Spain or Portugal that they were sending shit to Ukraine to aid Ukraine. And so there was a individual that was going in and breaking it down, and he was saying that it don't matter that Spain is so far away and think that they can't get touched, because the type of warfare that Russia's gonna bring is not gonna be tanks
crossing
and all
the
this
land and crossing.
No, they hitting buttons and sending nukes, man.
That's it. Yep.
They hitting buttons and sending nukes. So this conventional warfare of tanks and soldiers running, and in the military, how we would have to run and getting the prone supported
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then get up and you
And then
run
get up and start dipping
5
again.
seconds and then
Playing leapfrog.
Yeah. You gotta have cover fire.
that
and
shit was stupid, man.
Yeah.
That shit was stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way World War III is going down. It might in certain pockets and whatnot, but it's gonna be with fuel or fire. Burning and fuel or fire, like the scripture says.
And that's why Call of Duty is so big, man. You know, because that's the way that warfare is being fought now, behind a fucking computer screen. You know, you ain't gotta do nothing but sit up there and fly this goddamn plane. You know, and then what was that movie? Gamer, some gamer where they had the real life people that they was controlling from a screen. Damn. What was the nigga? I forgot what that shit's called.
Ender's Game.
Some
Ender's
gamers,
Game or
some
something like
gamer
that.
where
Ender's Game.
Using live people.
That young kid?
Yeah, exactly. And they're gonna be doing that shit too.
That's called the metaverse. That's here.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not far fetched that they're gonna be doing that shit, man. Like the people that are like physically able to do it, but they don't have the mind of warfare. They're gonna use motherfuckers that have the mind, and they're gonna be controlling them niggas, man.
Yep, they already got all those exo robo suits and shit. I was gonna mention that movie Good Kill. Where it shows them they're in Arizona, they're in connexes in Arizona, flying drones over the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Controlling the drones that's flying over the Middle East.
They'll blow some shit up, wait for the family and shit to come get the motherfucker.
And then double tap that shit. Double tap that shit.
Yeah. And that's some wicked shit, man.
Hey, that's Esau, man.
That's Esau.
That's what they do. That's why they throw the fucking grenades in the baby crater, the baby cradle. So, hey, once the baby blow up, the whole fucking house can blow up. Oh, the baby!
Yeah.
And then boom, blow your ass up,
Get everybody.
Go ahead with who's reading?
That brother was about to get the mother.
Oh, yep. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 12. It says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
Right. The mother that bore thee shall be sore confounded. She that bare thee shall be ashamed, right?
Yep.
So that's England. All right. That's going into England. All right, Great Britain, because America is nothing more than an offshoot of Great Britain, which is why. Let me ask you, what's the national language of America?
Oh, English.
Nope.
National German?
Nope.
National language of America.
Yeah.
Oh man, Spanish.
They don't have one.
Okay.
But the fact that English is the predominant language shows you that America is the baby of England.
Yep. Hey, because what's the first thing that the white people are going to say if people are around them speaking Spanish? Hey, speak English. This is America. Speak English.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. Speaking of that, man, we was at a job site one time, right? And two of my coworkers they were Spanish. They was talking in the back room trying to figure out how to get the job done. I guess some foreman from one of the other trades came in their room and was like, "You guys gotta speak English." He's like, "What?" Man, first and foremost, you don't even got no business talking to them because they're totally different trades. And he was like, "We don't know what you guys are saying back there." I went over there, I was like, what does it matter what they're saying, bro? It's like, it's none of your business what they're saying. They're trying to get this job done. You don't got no business talking to them. I went bad on the boy, like, fuck out of here, man. You know, fuck you. Who are you? So the boy, he went on about his business, and then it became a big ass issue, and they had to do a meeting for his shit, talking about racism in the trades in the company, because that shit went all the way to the head.
I bet.
But the boy, he went bad on him too. I was like, hold on, man, what the fuck? Who you talking to, dude? Who are you? Get the fuck out of here. You ain't nobody to us.
Right.
You're in the wrong trade. You a plumber or where the fuck you going there?
I guarantee you, if there had been two Edomites speaking German, he wouldn't have said
shit.
Or Russian. Or Russian.
He said shit. You know?
Sounded crazy.
Like in Geezer, guys. Can you teach me how to say something? You know, some foul ass shit so he can say it around his friends and shit. He wanted to learn how to say butthole or something.
Right.
German or something.
Yeah, he wanted to know some faggot shit, man. I'm sorry. Motion. Yeah. Continuing on in Jeremiah 50 and 12, it says, behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be in wilderness, a dry land and a desert.
Shall I read it again?
Okay, it says, This is the full scripture. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
Right.
Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert.
Right. So, you know, even them British, the UK, the England, right? Yeah, they not even gonna fuck with America.
They're like, we ain't with them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We don't know them.
Oh no. That's my adoption.
Yeah, they're adopted.
Yeah.
We never liked them.
We never like.
Read that Revelation.
This is Revelation 17 and 8.
Because it said that. Well, actually, first you grab that that shall hate the whore.
I got a precept also.
Oh, okay, yeah, we did. Okay, so read this, yeah. That's why, yeah.
I got a precept after.
Okay.
This is Revelation 17 and 8. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
Right. So what's the bottomless pit?
I know the bottomless. Is that the American financial system?
No. Try again. Why? No. Why'd you say it was the American financial system?
Because America's economy is about to go into nothing, and I just know, like, every time you get money, it feels like you have it, but you don't, and then, like, your pockets are like a bottomless pit when you thought that you had a lot of money in there.
That's a scripture, that's a curse that's on us.
Okay, yeah, that's where I got that.
Yeah. All right, so read
Let me
again.
try one more time.
Read it.
Revelation 17 and 8. It says, the beast that thou sawest was.
Now, who's the beast?
The BRICS nation.
No.
The beast is Russia. No, the system.
No. Okay. Who is the beast? All right. Who is the
Edom?
Yeah, it's Edom, but it's more specific. It's more specific. Read it again.
All right, it's Revelation 17 and 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
All right, hold on. Start. Let me see. Start at 7.
This is Revelation 17 and 7. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her.
Now, who's the
America's
woman?
the woman.
And now who's the beast that she's riding on?
The system that she controls.
But
What's that
specific. It's specific. It's specific to
The
people.
military beast.
To people. It's specific to people to nations. The beast.
Yeah. NATO.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, we're gonna pull it out of here now. We're gonna pull it out of here now.
All right.
So, verse 7.
No. Which half? The 7 heads and 10 horns?
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
Okay.
Verse 7. It says, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest.
Right, the 7 heads and the 10 horns. All right, the 7 heads. Pull up that picture that I sent somebody. Pull up that picture. You know what I'm talking about?
The one in the WhatsApp.
All right, because the 7 heads. What's the 7 heads?
The 7 heads are the nations that are in cahoots with America, like Germany, France, England, Spain.
The 7. The 7.
You're on point.
You're on point.
Yeah.
It's the 7 nations, ruling nations of
Western
Esau
Europe.
Edom. Of Esau Edom.
Esau Edom.
Because you got to remember, every nation had a chance to rule.
Yeah.
Now, when it came to Esau, at different periods of time, you had those 7 nations that were the top dogs of their day. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. So the seven heads is the Greeks, the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor, Spanish, French, British.
Yep.
All right, so that's that's the order in which they ruled. You had the Greeks first and the Romans, then Germania Major, Germania Minor, the Spanish, the French, and the British.
Germania Major, Germania Minor, is that like two different, with World War I Germans and World War II Germans?
No, this is going back to the. No, hold on, listen. This is literal from the history of when did the Edomites come into power?
1492.
No. Like going way back.
What
the
nation?
Greek Empire.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then after the Greeks, you had
Romans.
All right. So this is a sequence.
Okay.
So you had the Greeks that ruled, then the Romans that ruled, then Germania Major. So Germania Major ruling after the Romans, as pertaining to Edomites.
Yeah.
That's well before the Romans during World War I, World War II, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then Germania Minor. Then you had the Spanish. Then you had the French, and then you had the British. Because the Spanish, the French, and British, you got to think about. Canada. They speak French.
Yeah.
America, they speak English.
Mexico, they speak
And Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And why is that? Because those three last kingdoms, the Spanish, the French, and the British, were still some type of power force in the earth to where
those people spoke their language.
exactly
Even when they left.
you don't
Yeah.
see people in North America and in Central America and South America speaking Greek, Roman, Latin, and German.
Right.
They don't speak those because when America was, when the Renaissance happened, the rebirth, it was the Spanish, the French,
And the British.
the British. You had some Dutch in there, so on and so Portuguese,
And Rome.
Portuguese. Well, not Rome, but Portuguese,
The Portuguese.
because you got the Brazilians that speak Portuguese.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
You even got the Haitians speaking French.
French.
Yep.
Yeah. So continue on with that. Who's reading?
I read.
The 10. Oh no. And then going to after you read.
I'll read it.
Yeah. Verse 8.
Verse 8, it says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not.
Right now, what was?
The umbrella.
Yeah. What's the beast again?
The beast.
You said he had it right. It starts with an N. 4 letters.
NATO. Yes.
All right.
Okay,
So look, this is to help you out. It's a couple things that's important when the beast, the 10 horns, so on and so forth. The EU, NATO, the EU, and America are like, when it comes to Esau, those are the 3 things you need to pretty much remember pertaining to end time prophecy with Revelation. So you got America, you got NATO, and you got the EU. You know what I'm saying? America, NATO, the EU. The beast being NATO. The 10 horns being the EU. Because when the EU was founded, it was 10 nations that started that. Okay?
Okay, now.
Keep going.
All right, this is Revelation 17:8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
So the beast is what?
The beast is NATO.
All right, now it said it shall that was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Go ahead.
It says, and go into perdition.
Right, perdition means destruction. Yep.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
All right, so the beast, it said the beast, it ascended out of the bottomless pit. Now, the beast once again is who?
NATO.
Now, if the beast is NATO, it said it shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. What's the bottomless pit? Think about terrain and geographical location.
Is that where we're gonna?
Where are all the nations located at?
Western Europe?
What? Yeah, you're right. Europe. You said Western Europe, but Europe.
Europe. Yeah.
So the bottomless pit is Europe.
Okay.
Because that's where they ascended out of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right.
Okay.
So
Bottomless pit is Europe.
it says, and then it says that they're going to wonder whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world when they behold the beast, NATO, that was, and is not, and yet is. So the beast that was is referring to the Roman Empire. It fell, came back during the Renaissance, the rebirth, and it came back as NATO. You following?
I get it. When Rome fell off, but it came back to modern day, and they just
Gave
changed
it a new,
the
gave
name.
it a new name.
It gave it a new name because that's what Esau does.
Like a business that goes bankrupt, they change the name, but it's the same owner. Everything look exactly the same, they just change the name.
And most presidents, Joe Biden, he's a Roman Catholic. So yeah, that goes to Europe.
One good example of them rebranding is what they're gonna do with that the Max airplane that fell out the sky a couple years ago and caused that big panic.
You mean
they're
that
gonna
disappeared?
They're gonna it just like two planes crashed. This was like what, 3 years ago or so? Like right before the pandemic, those planes that the Max airplanes that fell out the crash.
Oh yeah, the Boeing 787s.
Yeah, the 787 Maxes or whatnot.
Dreamliners.
And they're just gonna call them something different. They're gonna re-release those planes. They're just gonna call them something different. They're not gonna refer to them as the Max.
Ain't gonna change nothing.
Exactly.
Just rebrand them like a club.
Yep.
They have some shooting.
Yep.
Yeah.
A restaurant that had a bunch of E. coli lawsuits.
Rebrand this, don't worry.
Yeah.
About a year and
Or a bank that fucked everybody over.
Yep.
Fucking, was it Chase or Walmart? They changed their name to
Change their name to something different.
Wells Fargo?
Bank of, they went from,
Wells Fargo.
was it Wells Fargo?
Wells Fargo stole, but they didn't even bother to change.
I read one of them banks changed their name and it got absorbed by a whole other bank after they shitted on everybody, took their money and ran off and bankrupt. I was like, damn. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right, reading on, verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Okay, so the 7 heads. Now, what? Do you know the 7 heads?
Yeah.
All right, read them off. Put it with me.
Okay. 7 heads. Britain.
Okay.
America.
Nope.
Try to do it in order from when Esau came to the palace.
Okay, got it. Okay. Greece.
Now, let me. Okay, never mind.
Greece.
We already went over that.
Oh yeah,
part.
okay. After this one.
Oh yeah, we went over that.
I wanted to do.
So the 7 heads. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, because the 7 heads being the seven ruling dynasties of
That came up
Esau,
with
Edom.
success.
Yep.
All right, so keep going. Verse 10.
All right, Revelations 17 and 10. It says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Right, so it said that, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And that's talking about the British. All right, so all those kingdoms that were before the British was around and they had their time to rule and whatnot. 1447. They had, they had their time to rule, and then you had the British that came up, and it said that they would be in power for a short time. Go ahead.
11, verse 11. It says, and the beast that was
NATO,
and is not.
the Roman Empire.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
No, not there. It's not. That's referring to America. All right, verse 11. So it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. All right, which is America, and is of the 7th, because like we read, they came out of Britain.
Yep.
Okay. And goeth into perdition. So
Going to destruction.
destruction.
An extension of the British Empire.
Yep. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Right. Now, can you pull that list up? They mentioned the 10 horns. Now, these are the 10 horns. And this is going back to the EU, which is which was originally the EEC, the European Economic Community, which was established in 1958, right? So the original 10 horns is more now, but the original, I think it's like 20 something, but the 28 or something like that.
Yep.
Can somebody look that up? But the original 10 was Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Spain and Portugal, England and Ireland, and West Germany. So those is the original 10 horns that were the seven heads that were 10 horns. Okay, because the 7 heads being those Edomite NATO nations, right? And then these 10 horns is what we just listed. Okay.
It looks like there's 24.
But
24.
you know, it sounds like
28? Yeah. Is it 28?
Okay, so now it's 28 nations.
And what would you say is the big difference between the 10 horns and the 7 heads?
Well, it just said
They're all together, but the 7 heads still the 10 horns.
Read 12 again.
All right, this is Revelation 17 and 12.
Oh,
It
because
says,
they just
and
added
the
on
10
a couple
horns
countries,
which thou sawest are 10 kings,
At the end of last year.
which
right?
have received no kingdom as yet,
Almost Ukraine.
but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So they receive power with the beast because they affiliate with NATO, right?
Yeah.
So they pretty much work hand in hand with NATO, but they don't have power like the original 7 heads have power. The Romans ruled the whole known earth at that time. The Greeks ruled the whole known earth. The Spanish ruling, the French ruling. You know, Germania Major, Germania Minor, they actually ruled shit.
Yeah, Ireland will never rule. That's why they treated Irish like black
niggas.
people. Yeah, like they're niggas up until they got their place at the table, which is the 10 horns is their place. Their horn is their place at the table. So
Yeah. They on the level, but they're not
still beneath them.
Yeah.
They're still beneath them. They're just like, we'll give you your so-called white man card.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to classify you with the blacks.
Yep.
They say, we'll give you a voice.
A voice.
You have a voice, but you don't got no power.
We'll
you just can put a little bit of input.
We'll give you jobs, like you'll be head of the fire department.
You are to be seen and not heard. It says in verse 12, it says, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So that 1 hour, it translates into 42 years. And so, and that goes back to the EU, the Treaty of Rome in January 1st, 1958. All right, so the Treaty of Rome.
42 years.
Huh?
You said that's an hour is 40.
It translates into, when you read this, it translates into 42 years. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How many years is 1 year to 1 year to us is how, or 1 day to us is how many years to the Lord?
Vice versa. 1 day to the Lord is how many years to us?
1,000.
So when you do that math,
Yeah, when you do that math, when they established that in 1948.
48. Okay.
I mean, 1958.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let's do this.
Because my dad was born in 58. When you said 42 years, I was like, my dad's law when he was 42.
Yeah.
1,000 divided by 24 is 41.6 repeating.
So yeah, break that down. You better at math.
41.6, round the 6 up, you got 42.
42. Right. What you did
Not
was
really a
you,
breakdown there.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, just so you can understand.
I
Bro.
understand. So when they say the beast will be let loose for 1,000 years, and he'll be basically put back into captivity. Well, Esau came into power in 1492, or was it further?
No, he came in power with the Greeks.
Okay.
Well, no, you talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You had Esau that grabbed that
See, because you got to think about the Dark Ages that came about, right?
We put when we came up out of Rome,
right,
and put them back in.
Yep. And then they had the Renaissance where they pop back up and regain power.
I'm trying to figure out when this 1,000 years starts.
It started in like 3-something.
Started when Constantine came.
When Constantine
Byzantine Empire.
Yeah.
Constantinople.
Grab that scripture.
Constantine came into power.
I'm trying to think of the scripture, man. Shall we set a seal on them for 1,000 years?
Shall we
loose for a little season? What is that?
Because I feel like the second Exodus is definitely going to be in my lifetime.
Yeah,
but during
20 and
that time when we're beamed up, I'm thinking, are we going to be up there for like 400 years and then come back down? Esau's still going to, Jacob's trouble's going to last for like 300 years?
No, hell no.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
Read that. Revelation.
Once we're beamed up,
Start at 1.
It's up to the Lord. But, you know, if you're beamed up, I don't really care how long Jacob's trouble. That's their problem.
Revelation 20 and 1.
better chill out, Mr. FedEx?
Yeah, for real. I was about to jump the curve. I was like,
Shit.
Revelation 20 and 1 says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand.
What's that bottomless pit?
Europe.
All right.
Who's the angel?
Michael.
No. It's Yahushua.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, verse 2. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Right. So all of Esau, they was knocked off that pedestal for roughly a period of 1,000 years, and that was in somebody look up the date.
Dark Ages.
Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages. Because when the Romans fell, you had the Holy Roman Empire that ruled, which was Israelites, and then you had the Byzantine Empire ruling simultaneously, at the same time, which that was Moors, which was Israelites too.
Off of Google, it says that the Dark Ages in Europe occurred between 500 CE and 1000 CE, or 500 to 1500 AD.
All right, type in the fall of the Roman Empire.
Did you see that Denzel Washington movie where he played Macbeth?
Yeah.
Was he representing how the Moors came into power and put the Romans?
I tried to watch that movie, but I couldn't get into it.
I couldn't find it, but I'm trying to understand. Like I didn't know Macbeth was a so-called black man.
Yeah.
When I saw that, and I was just like, oh, it just show how.
Yeah, that whole feud between the Moors and the Christians.
Yeah.
It was a feud only about religion, really, because they were the same people. They're just two different religions that they were living.
So this says that Imperial Rome lasted from 31 BC to 476 AD.
So 476 AD. Yep. So 1,000 years after that, it'd be the 1400s.
Yep.
And that's around the time when there was Esau commissioned to come over here and do all that. So literally, that's what we're reading right here. Read that verse 2 again.
This is Revelation 20 and 2. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Yep, keep going.
Verse 3 says, and cast him into the bottomless pit,
Europe,
and shut him up, and he set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that, he must be loosed a little season.
So he's in that little season right now. All right. Somebody hold 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter.
And where is he in that loosened 1,000 years season? Like,
Where he's at the end
He's
of that.
in the little season.
He's at the end of that.
yeah, and that's really easy to see now.
Yeah. You can see that he's losing a grip on everything he
you
has.
can see the Civil War, Egyptian versus Egyptian, was about to pop off. Really.
Hey, as soon as he came up out of that 1,000 years, what did he do? He commissioned Michelangelo and Leonardo to start painting those images.
Yep.
They started defacing it, the noses, and iconoclasm, whitewashing of defacing of images.
Yep. Russian icon.
And that's that deception he started to come with, covering the faces of the judges, as it tells you in what's that? Job 9:24. There we go. All right, this is 2 Thessalonians 2:1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as that the day of Mashiach is at hand.
Right. So the day of the Lord is at hand. The day of the Lord is coming at the end of Esau's little season, which we're in Esau's little season, which he's ruling right now, and we're at the end of it. You know, because America, since the 1400s until now, it's really not a long period of time for somebody to rule. You know.
Verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Right. So break that down. What's that mean? That day, the day of the Lord, shall not come unless there be a falling away first. What is that falling away? What does that mean?
Who is falling away? The only people who are really falling away is Israel.
Okay.
So is he trying to get us out of here before there's no more flesh to be saved? So it's
no.
Digging a little too deep.
Okay. Jeremiah 17:4, right? It says, thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine inheritance that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, so on and so forth.
okay.
So,
I understand.
before we woke up to the fact that we as Israelites,
we were doing pagan policy.
right? So what's that? So we fell away from our heritage.
Yeah.
So pretty much what the scripture is saying is that there's going to come a point in time when we was all going to be bugged out, not knowing who he was again.
Yeah, that was like the 40s during the Emmett Till era.
Yeah, and even before then, even when we was in West Africa, like Jake was bugged out.
Yeah.
So the falling away actually happened, and us being in the tail end of Esau's rulership, that little season, him being loose for that little season, this is when we woke back up from that fucking sleep. We fell away from who we was, and now we woke up to who we are because we're in the end, and the Lord's going to deliver us pretty soon. You know?
Doesn't he talk about how you'll remember yourselves? It's like you'll remember yourselves.
Yep.
Chapter 2, 30.
There you go.
You can hold that after we read this. After we get the preaching too. Yeah.
Reading on in the latter part of verse 3, it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Esau, 111. Bro, tell you about some. All right, go ahead.
Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh or Elohim, and that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
He's talking about Esau right there.
Yep.
Verse 5, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only
right, the mystery of iniquity does already work. So Esau he's the devil, right? And the mystery of iniquity, like Esau is so crafty with his wickedness that
Who have you sinning and you don't even know you're sinning?
right.
Yeah.
Read that in the NLT. Oh, don't pull up your right hand.
That's not.
Some
What's the NLT of what?
2 Thessalonians 2 and what verse?
The mystery of iniquity is like
2 and
when I
7.
call my cousins up and then I tell them, hey, are you still eating pork? And they're like, I'm barbecuing right now. And even after you tell them, it's still a mystery to them. They still don't get the basic.
Well, I want to read. I want to read it in the NLT to get a better understanding.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 7 in the NLT. For this lawlessness is already at work secretly.
Right. Esau's his craft and his policies. It says that in Daniel that he gonna cause craft through craft. He's gonna cause policies to prosper. Something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Type in the blue letter craft, and we'll get that. That was referring to the ancient world.
It
Through
says,
his policies, he shall cause craft to prosper. I believe that's how it's worded. Go ahead.
it says, and it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way.
Right. So it's the Lord that's been holding back. Like we read earlier, the Lord said he's going to discover thy nakedness. So for the longest, the Lord had the angels blinding everybody to the fact of what Esau was really doing.
Yeah.
Now
Daniel 8 and 25.
Now the Lord caused the angels to step back and show that this man, the Wizard of Oz, there was that little ass, the dog Toto, fucked up the curtain or whatever, and there was that little ass man back there controlling. You remember the Wizard of Oz? Yeah. So that little motherfucker was back there doing all that wickedness, and it was a mystery of like who was doing all this.
That's the same situation that Esau's running.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That was read that Daniel.
Right, this is Daniel 8:25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
Right. And that was going into Antiochus, Antiochus in the ancient world. Because in verse 24, he was using mercenary armies and so on and so forth. But pretty much he would have treaties, but then he'd break them.
Yeah, that's how America's running right now.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so that what we read in Daniel 8, that's specifically dealing with that period of time. But the same thing that we read in 2 Thessalonians, Esau through his policies and treaties, he gets over on these other nations, he breaks his treaties, and then they, like the Taiwan shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Thailand, excuse me. Yeah. Then you call them out on this shit, and they're plausible deniability and all this crazy shit.
Maybe I
You know?
did. Maybe I did.
Yeah. Let's jump back to that Revelation. You got something you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead. And then what do you know? Yeah, 17. Because you finished 20 already, right? Yeah, you can. Revelation 17. Go ahead, bro. 17 and what? 12.
All right, this is Baruch 2 and 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities shall they remember themselves.
Right. So us being in our captivity throughout the whole world currently, this is when we're remembering ourselves.
Because we're sighing and crying.
Right.
Yeah.
And we woke up from that falling away.
We woke up from that falling away.
We fell away from who we was, serving the Lord. We didn't know who we was.
Yeah.
The Lord blessed us to understand that we're Israelites. right? And that's us remembering ourselves, despite us being in captivity here in America, or South America, or brothers up in Canada, or over in Africa, brothers, you know, wherever brothers is at. Brothers have woken up to the fact that they're Israelites.
I got a really good question. You know, in that one scripture where he says, I will put a mark on those who sigh and cry, and they will be exempt.
Look up that
9 and 20.
that's Ezekiel 94. Look up the Hebrew.
Now, of course, you don't know if you got this mark or not. But are they basically saying if these Israelites who sighed and cried receive that mark, and they're doing what we're doing right now, even though we don't know, because you don't know if you've been marked or not, they're going to be exempt from the sins that they committed as long as they've repented?
Well, this is the thing. The Lord said, he that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So, we hope to be saved. The only way we're going to know is if we endure unto the end. Now, those that endure to the end is going to have that mark. So that's why the scriptures say, give diligence to make thy calling of election sure. You don't know if you're going to make it, but give your diligence to make your chances that much better. Right now, read the scripture and then read the Hebrew.
This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
Right. So that's initially what we're doing when we do these videos. Spiritually, we're going out throughout Jerusalem, setting the mark on the men's foreheads that sigh and cry for all the abominations done in the midst thereof. So those Israelites that feel the way we feel, like our nation is jacked up, it's all kind of evil and wickedness going on, and you have a problem with it, but you can't do nothing outside of aligning yourself with the scriptures and getting with the Most High's program, right? In hopes of receiving that mark. Now, read the word.
The mark comes from H8420, and the word is tawah. In some of the Bible usage and outline, it says desire mark as a sign of exemption from judgment.
Right, sign of exemption from judgment. So the Israelites that get delivered are going to have that mark. All right, it's a spiritual mark.
This is a spiritual mark.
But aren't they also protected?
What you mean?
I'm not going to say protected because the brother.
Listen.
Yeah, let me read this.
Listen. If you got that mark, if you have the mark, which is exemption from judgment, you're protected.
Okay.
Meaning the Lord exempts you from judgment. He exempts you from the second death, which is the thermonuclear missile.
Exactly.
So you are protected.
I remember that, and as soon as I remember that, you said it, the second death. I was just like, oh yeah, because the brother that I knew with you at that manufacturing camp, won't he be brought back because everybody's going to see it?
Yep.
And then he'll be.
We went over it last week. He gonna meet us in the clouds.
Yep, got it.
So just because you passed, you was in the truth.
Yeah.
And you passed.
Doesn't mean you weren't protected.
Yeah.
That's
just the story that the Lord wrote for you.
Yeah.
But that's better than chasing missiles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather go out,
On my shield.
Versus, just being around and then at the end you just taste missiles. Like fuck that.
You're gonna really taste them. I feel like the Lord's gonna slow down time a little bit.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel every inch of that fire up your body.
Say that your eyes and your tongue shall consume in their hole.
Right.
And you're gonna feel that.
Right.
While they
Feel your eyes melt away and your tongue melt away.
It says that's gonna happen while they stand up on their feet.
Right, stand up on their feet, man. So you're gonna just slowly disintegrate.
That's why it sounds slow.
Yeah. And the Lord is the Father time, man.
Yep.
He can make, because if a day to us it's 24 hours, but to him it's 1,000 years. He can control time, so he can have it to where you in that fire, and it feel like a whole fucking year you burning. Or who knows? You know what I'm saying?
That's why I had a dream that it felt like a whole. It felt a lot longer than somebody just being blown up and you're not gonna feel anything. You can't feel it.
Nah, hey, the scriptures say that people are gonna learn after death by pain.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, Esau loves to say that, you know, that nuclear fire, that blast, they just get disintegrated immediately, you know, before they can even blink. It's already over. Like, nah, man, it's gonna be death by pain. People are gonna.
That nuclear weight, that blast hits your ass first. And then the wall of fire. And when that blast that hits, that sweeps, that shit knock paint off the damn buildings and shit. So imagine what that's gonna do to these people. And you know, and then that man.
Elements shall melt
with
fervent heat.
Hey, you gonna
Second
feel
Peter
your
3.
cheeks start flapping, and then pretty soon they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
You won't even feel them shits no more.
Yeah, then you're gonna be a
why
skeleton.
you blind?
Yeah, it's like shit. Hey, and then saying your life flashed before your eyes.
Yeah.
Hey, that saying's true because that little moment that you was in that danger, you see your whole life and everything you did in that life. You know, that's how much time it slows down when you're in that immediate danger. So yeah, the time slows down when you're faced with that danger, man. The life and death. Reading on the definition, it says mark by implication a signature, mark a desire mark.
Yeah. So that mark, that's a spiritual mark of exemption. Meaning pretty much meaning you got the names of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. That's your protection. The scriptures tell you that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and that he that runneth into it is safe.
Yep.
So when you wake up to the truth and you come into the names of Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai, and you call upon those in sincerity, hey, that's your superpower. That's your protection.
That's how you're able to see people
who they really are. Yeah. To see through bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I'm not the greatest at remembering precepts, but I understand when I'm hearing lies.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make logical sense what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's good. It ain't all about remembering precepts.
Yeah.
That's not every brother's lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the most important thing is to get the understanding.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of precept men in Israel ain't here.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of them. We all know that.
Oh, you had something else?
Just to kind of go off of what's at Baruch 2 and 3, that's like the final part of a prophecy. This is Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Right, because in all our ancient captivities, we knew we was Israelites. Right, when we was under the Romans, we knew we was Israelites under the Egyptians. You know, even under the Greeks, under the Persians, Medo-Persians. 441. We knew we was Israelites. All right, and today is Purim. You know, the high holy day of Purim, which means lot.
Yep.
You know the story about Purim? Let's kind of switch gears.
That's a great get into that. I've heard of it.
Let's kind of switch gears. Let's finish this Revelation 17 and 12. We'll kind of go through this real quick, and then we'll touch upon Purim, because initially that's what Esau's trying to do to us again.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Revelation 17 and 12. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast."
Right, which is that 42 years. All right, because when, like the brother said, when you divide 24 By what was it? When
1,000 by 24.
1,000 by 24, it comes out to 41.6, which you round up to 42. So that's 40. That's 42 years. Roughly, EU has been linked up with NATO for about like 42 years, so to say.
All right,
Going back to the Treaty of Rome.
Yeah.
When you get some time, look up the Treaty of Rome. Text that to him. When you get a chance. The Treaty of Rome. Look up the Treaty of Rome.
verse 13 says, "These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast."
Right. That's why the EU pretty much relies on the beast being NATO for protection.
Yeah.
Because they here it is. The EU they can still operate as their own individual countries, but when it comes to like really fighting,
Like if China,
yeah, they're gonna rely on NATO,
Australia,
or Russia.
or
Russia, they're gonna rely on NATO to defend them because they gave their power onto the beast.
That's the whole reason for NATO being established in the first place is to
Ward off Russia.
To ward off Russia, pretty much.
That makes sense because I remember before I was in the troop, I hooked up with this Australian woman, and I wasn't in the Navy, but I was.
You was going off, right?
Sorry.
He's joking. He's joking.
I'm playing.
This is before I was in the troop.
Even if it wasn't the truth, man, you can deal with it.
I know certain Israelites, you can't deal with the white woman. Man, you can do whatever bitch you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You just don't treat them as the heathen women as wives because they're concubine husbands.
Right.
But yeah, she was basically saying, bragging about, she was like, China is right above us, but we know if China gives us any kind of crap, America's got our back. And I was just like, oh, so you know this? And I'm like, so this is how y'all feel? Y'all are proud just like Americans are. I didn't know Australians.
Oh, they're some of the worst.
Yeah,
they're the rejects from England.
Yeah, the prisoners.
All the prisoners and shit.
I remember that from the Simpsons episode. Yeah.
That's factual. That's exactly what they did. Yep.
I remember the Simpsons touched that. So that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, the Australians, they're just as proud as Americans. I had no idea they were like that.
All of the Edomites are proud.
Yeah, that's true.
White man gonna be the white man
Wherever we go.
All right, verse 14 says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings."
Right, so the NATO, EU, they're going to try to make war with Yahushua when the Lord returns. But we already know how that's going to turn out. Yeah. That's like your son being an infant trying to beat you up. Like, nigga, man, take your baby food.
Y'all know.
I'll take your baby. I'll take your bottle.
It's scary to even think about that.
Yeah.
It's really insulting to even think about that.
Reading on, it says, "And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful." And
right. Those elect, right? Those that got that tawah, the 144,000, are called, chosen, and faithful. That's why to be faithful, all right, in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua as an Israelite means that you endured unto the end. That's why it's so important to endure, man. Whatever the fuck you go through, just deal with that shit.
Yep. That's why I always finish my hour on the treadmill. I always finish it. I read my Bible, then I go in that treadmill, and I'm like, I gotta endure all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And I try to take that mindset into this because I know that we can't stay perfect. I think, man, compared to what I used to do, I'm a totally different person.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard for me to when I see a girl at the gym, I can't stop.
Ain't no,
hey, we're men.
There ain't nothing wrong with
But
looking.
they just lusting after the.
No, I mean, as long as she ain't married or
Well, I don't know if she's married or not. More than likely, she's
But
not.
look, we're in fucking hell.
Yeah.
These women are promiscuous. she got her ass and titties out, and you're not supposed to look.
Yeah.
They want motherfuckers to look at them. That's why they dress like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you as a man, what am I supposed to do? Act like I'm blind and I can't see this bitch ass? You know, now there's a fine line because you don't want to look like a creep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But of course you're gonna get your peek in. Like,
Hey.
Okay.
And that's why Yahweh Shah said this is a wicked and
Adulterous generation. Yep.
Because if the woman's not a virgin, she shouldn't even be out in the public like that at all because she's already took it.
Yeah.
So that's why when you look at a woman, you never know.
A virgin too, she wouldn't just be out there just by herself.
Yeah.
Then she gets snatched up, get ravished, and now, you know, like, you know,
You're gonna have to marry her, give her
Exactly.
50 shekels.
exactly.
And guess what? You might not even like her. So that kind of makes you
You don't
not
like
want
her,
to.
that's on you.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah,
the
yeah.
scriptures tell you can't
This is
put her
true.
away.
Exactly. And that's how you deal with that doctrine.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I didn't mean
So Rock 25 and 25. Give her not liberty to
Liberty
get
got
abroad.
Yeah. Keep her in straight. Matter of fact, read that.
Yeah, because America, the way Esau Edom got this world running is completely off and wicked, man.
And that's how you know we're at the end of the society, because women have so much liberty and they rule over Isaiah 3:12. They rule over the men in this society.
I'm gonna start up
especially
a
the
little bit.
so-called black man.
Yeah.
That's where the main priority is at.
That's the main one they want to destroy. Was the so-called black man?
Yep.
Because hey, the so-called black man is the head of Yasharallah, man. So with him falling, then guess what? The whole nation is falling because everybody looks up to who? The so-called black man.
Yep.
And the so-called black woman.
Hey, they fucked up because they pushed the black man out of the house. So then he starts fucking with the white bitches.
When he gets his passport.
Yeah. Or he gets his passport. Man. Hey, this is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, or Sirach, chapter 25, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 24. It says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad."
Yeah. So women aren't supposed to be pretty much in the house.
Subject.
Yeah. Slaves.
A woman, this is the actual definition of woman.
Female
servant, man.
Female servant,
So
yep.
a woman was created to be a servant. So she should be serving her man or her father. She should never have any other transition, man.
Yep.
From her father to her husband. She's always in servitude, period. But in today's day and age, women have liberty to do what the fuck they want.
You only
No head to them.
you only find that in those Arab countries and shit. You know, Islamic countries where the women are actually in order according to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like according to how it's supposed
But
to be.
America's sending over propaganda try to wake those women up.
Yeah.
And it's starting a whole,
Yeah.
you know, they're trying to basically bring Babylon over there. And they're having to deal with those women a little roughly.
They're trying to get that cup to them and make them drunk.
Exactly.
They make the whole world drunk.
Yeah.
That's the scripture.
But for the most part, most of the women in that country like being covered up. And they make it seem like there's a large contingency of women out there who want to be independent women, and that's not the case.
They only want to be independent because they think the freedoms and the liberty that they're going to receive is going to be way better than them being in subjection.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go to find out that it's not as good, it's not as pretty as they paint the shit to be.
Yeah.
You know?
You're entirely.
Real quick, this is Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also.
And that drink is the doctrines and philosophies that Esau Edom has.
Democracy.
Yeah. You know, women's liberation.
LGBT.
That's one of the main things that's disrupting the whole balance of the earth.
Except trannies.
Yeah. Except this broken transmission.
Trannies are now complaining about Aretha Franklin song's "Natural Woman."
Yeah.
Put that off the market.
Yeah.
Like, how deep does this madness go, man?
Yeah.
The fuck, this song been around before you motherfuckers was even thinking about
Before y'all
chopping
was
off
even
your
born.
goddamn genitalia.
Right.
Before y'all was even born.
But
Yeah.
now they're offended.
Now they're offended in a song that was around before they was even thought about it.
Hey, but they're offended because they're not natural women.
Yeah. They listen to that song, they trying to vibe to it, but they know down in their heart they ain't no woman and they get cut.
Yeah.
They get cut. Just listen to Aretha just getting cut.
Hey, but that's why they have a whole Bible, a homosexual Bible now.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
They take out man lying with mankind. They take out women if women lying amongst themselves. They take out all the scriptures that talk about same sex dealing with same sex.
Yeah, inordinate effect. And all that.
Yeah.
I don't even care to even know.
Hey,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's why they promote that "come as you are." You know what I'm saying? They promote that everybody can make it regardless. So forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? They promote all of that. You can't do any wrong. All you got to do is have it in your heart to believe, and you can make it.
You'd
You
be
know?
surprised how many jakes fall for that.
Yeah.
When they don't know these scriptures. Because Esau tried to push one of those Bibles on me. It looked like a Bible made by Count Dracula. And he didn't know that I was in the truth. And I was just like, what is this? And he's just like, this is Jesus, man. You want to keep it this Jesus? It to me just like crack cocaine. I was just like, nah, man. I already knew. I spoke a little Hebrew to him. And he was like, okay, I got to go.
You gonna get some?
You need this fix.
That was him trying to get you to drink from that bottle.
Yeah.
You want some of this Jesus?
Keep swirling that cup in your face. Smell it. Go and smell
It
sweet.
smell like straight shit. It smell like an Edomite's house full of dogs.
You should have saw the
You got the
Bible.
sauce on that now.
A grog bowl. Where the Vikings fucking all wash their face in the same bowl. And, you know what I'm saying? They pass it to the next nigga, and this nigga do the same shit. Wash his face.
They gargle that shit, spit it back in there.
Yeah.
Niggas nasty.
Yeah, that's that Jesus juice, man. It says Habakkuk 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
Yeah. You want to look on their shame, man.
Yeah.
You want to cause them to commit sins so you can accuse them to the Heavenly Father, man. Like, look at these motherfuckers. He told them not to eat pork, but look at them, they eating it.
And that's that misery love company.
Yeah.
Esau know that this is,
Esau knows he thinks he'll actually get his birthright if he does back, if he does that to him.
They actually know that they won't get it back, but they want to try.
They want to try.
They want to try. They gonna try.
Hey, the Most High gave him away.
Yeah.
He gave him away.
Why did you repent?
He said, search out the heavens and search out the earth below, man.
Yeah.
You
But
know
he
what
actually
I'm
gave him two. He got him that one, and he said, all you gotta do is repent.
Yeah.
If they was to repent from all the wicked they did to us, then out of the Most High, he said he would forgive them. But
why is
they would not repent.
You know what? I never really heard about that.
It's Revelation. Even though they would not repent.
It doesn't say he was going like.
Well,
yeah,
but if they was to repent, then
well, no. The Lord is saying that. Get the scripture, but He's just simply saying that it's not in Esau's nature to repent. But even if they repented, like they're still destined for destruction. The Lord wouldn't change His mind.
The Lord don't lie.
Yeah, the Lord's not a man that He stands. Go ahead, bro. We get too far. Oh, hold on. Let me finish. Verse 16, Habakkuk 2 and 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So, hey, the Lord, foreskin is unclean. As an Israelite man, you're supposed to be circumcised. Foreskin represents uncleanness. So here it is, Esau sitting up, claiming to be the Heavenly Father, and they're the chosen people of the Lord and all this, and trying to be the authority of the Bible on the planet Earth. So he's sitting in the role of a priest, a God king, so to say. But meanwhile, your ass is fucking unclean. You ain't even circumcised, you fucking demonic dog. You know what I'm saying? So a shameful spewing is on Esau's glory, because at one point in time there's a great white height. You know? The great white height, man. Now everybody's like, man, I don't even want to be around your ass. You know? Hey, T1. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Jeremiah 31 and 22. how long would thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
Right. So a new thing in the earth is women being above men. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. It's all strategic. And when we came into the truth, it wasn't really like that. 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago. It wasn't really like that. We've seen the progression of.
It got worse, but it was like that back then too.
No. I'm saying it wasn't like it got way worse now.
Yeah,
but
way worse.
back then, it was like that, but it wasn't like what it is now, man.
And you can have these bitches talking crazy as
Yeah.
hell about, oh, a man is just a bag to me, and you know what I'm saying? It was still like natural affection. You know, it was still like a woman wanted to be with a man, and you know, and a man wanted to be with. But now these hoes don't even want nothing to do with niggas. You know what I'm saying? They only want to use a man for what he can do for them.
They collect us. They basically collect us for baby child support. I saw this woman making a video. She's like, I got 4 baby daddies. So I get 4 separate incomes. So the question is, why don't you have baby daddies? And I was just like, oh, okay.
That's the
Yeah, scripture saying this brother always bring it out. She got one for her blacks.
Yeah.
For her oils, for
Her multiple
wine.
lovers.
Yeah.
Was that it? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Revelation 9 and 20. It says, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands.
Right. So the men that's killed by the plagues, that was going into, what was that, Revelation 9? I believe that's World War II. Yeah,
It's going into the second death.
Well, no. Well, look. What verse you read?
At 20.
Okay, Revelation. Okay, yeah. I'm tripping.
It's going to second death. The 200 million missiles.
Yeah. Because there's another one that goes into. All right, never mind. I'm thinking something else. Go ahead.
This is Revelation 9 and 20 says, and the rest of the men that which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts.
Yeah, because that's everything that Esau's into.
Yep.
Fornication, murders, thefts, all that. So even after World War III, and the missiles are shot off, and these Edomite nations get destroyed, you know, there's mass destruction on the planet, so on and so forth, you're still going to have Edomites that ain't going to repent.
Right.
Yeah.
And won't they live in America after it's
No.
destroyed?
Okay.
Okay.
Once the missiles go off, nobody on the shores of America will be alive. They'll be all
But they said like
destroyed.
the only thing inhabited will be like desert creatures.
Desert
That's
creatures.
right.
So like,
But they said something else. They referred to some type of demon-like creature.
nah, it's just animals that can live in those desert type climates. You know?
I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
You got it.
Isaiah 13 and 20. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there.
Bingo. It
Neither-
said, hold on, start off with verse 2 to kind of get the concept.
I'm starting 17. This is Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver.
Right now that the Medes is
Who's the Medes?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
in the ancient world.
Hold on, I know this. The Russians?
No.
Hold on. I can't believe
The Russians will be the modern Medes.
The modern day Medes.
Modern day Medes.
Because when you look at the
Just for
region in
location.
which they were located,
Yep.
in the ancient world, the Medes were located up in that area of Russia.
Oh,
But
then I don't know that because that's
Who
what
the-
I
who
thought
the
it was.
ancient-
the ancient world Medes would be the Polynesians.
Japhites.
I was
The
just about to
Japhite.
say Japheth. I was just about to
Remus,
say
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the ancient Medes.
What?
Go ahead.
All right, Isaiah 13, 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver.
Right. So the ancient world, the Medes was the Polynesians, Japhites. Today they would be the so-called Russians, because where the ancient Medes dwelt at is where the modern day Russians live at.
So the Polynesians used to live in Russia.
Yeah, up in that area.
Up in that area.
In Europe, parts of Europe, and up in up in Russia.
All the way down to Greece.
All the way down.
Yeah, I knew that they were in Italy.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. So it said that the Lord is going to raise them up to take a spoil.
Back then or now?
Now.
So the Polynesians are about to be raised up?
No.
No, the Russians. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, okay. I'm like, damn.
No, you're gonna get it right. It says, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Right. And when it comes time to push some buttons, there's not going to be any amount of gold or silver or Federal Reserve notes or
ain't no bailout.
Yeah, that America can give Russia to stop them from whooping their ass.
Yeah.
You like the bully finally gets his comeuppance, gets beat up by the motherfucker he been bullying, and now the bully's like, oh please no, I'll pay you.
I'll give you back your lunch money.
You gonna get this ass whooping, motherfucker.
You gonna get this work.
You gonna get this work.
Verse 18 it says, their bows also shall the young men. Their bows also shall the young men their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have
bows being those missiles. Modern day bow.
Yeah.
A bow would be is
a nuclear
silo.
Yeah.
Because the bow shoots the missile or shoots the arrow. So a modern day bow is a nuclear silo, and then the arrow, the modern day arrow, is a missile that comes
continental ballistic missile.
Yeah, or just a missile period.
It says, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb.
Hey, they ain't gonna give two shits. All the there's a bunch of American women that's pregnant right now.
You're going
We don't
down.
give a fuck. Shoot the missile.
Their eyes shall not spare children.
Yep.
It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed, and there's nothing there. You can see that the sulfur residue, so to say, proving that it was fire that totally torched that place. So that's going to be the same thing that happens to America. All right? Nothing here is going to survive.
This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. Jacob's trouble. Is there any part where we will, like Israelites, will have to go back into the wilderness?
Yeah. The scripture's going to that. We'll grab that and edify.
Okay.
But finish that real quick.
Verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. It says,
right. So read that again, Salaki.
Verse 20. And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
Right. That's talking about America. It shall never be inhabited. It shall not be dwelt in from generation to generation. From the point of it being destroyed for all eternity. Human, will never walk the soils of America ever again.
It says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Verse 20.
Break that down.
Yeah, the Arabian's not going to pitch tent here, man. Meaning, they're nomadic people, so they're always, moving in different terrains and areas. But this place is never going to be inhabited again, period, man. They're not going to come over here and pitch a tent. Nah, this place is going to be desolate.
Yeah,
man.
it'll probably have a lot of radiation that can't even survive.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the Arabs, they be inhabiting hella desolate places out there in the deserts and the middle of nowhere. So it'd be nothing for them to dwell in the desert. But it shows you here that they ain't coming here. There's going to be nobody here to get the fruit. Verse 21. But wild beasts and desert and
So
wild beasts.
man ain't going to dwell there. But what will is what is reading? What he about to read?
Verse 21. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
Yeah, these are just different animals. You know, if you get the chance, just look up those words in the blue letter, and it'll tell you, give you more understanding of what type of animals it's talking about.
I remembered that wrong. I thought they made reference to that goat god.
Baphomet?
The Baphomet. The people who worship that will still be living here.
Nah.
Okay, good. Somehow. Okay.
Verse 22. It says, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses.
Right, like a wild bird. Like you watch these movies when they're dealing with tumbleweeds out in the middle of the fucking desert, and then you hear some crow or some bird.
Or a vulture.
Or a vulture. Yeah, they're out in the middle of the desert, and there's this big ass vulture. waiting on this fucking armadillo to die so he can eat it, type shit. that's what it's going into.
No place you want to be.
That's what a satire is. It's a vulture. Type of vulture.
I believe so. Reading on, it says, the dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So yeah, America has an appointed time of destruction. That's not going to be. It can't. America cannot go past the time that the Lord has appointed for it to be destroyed.
How you spell that, Sator?
SATIRE.
No, that's no I. Satire is SATYRS.
Then why?
Well, look at where the Oh, go ahead, Robert.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, starting at verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all. That ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone.
Right. So, what's the title for this chapter?
For this part is
God's lifted hand.
Most High's lifted hand.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, the Lord, you got our people who are okay with just living under Esau's authority,
And I'm not.
Yeah, you know, you got our people that are, you know, because they got money, they got businesses, they getting niggas is on now. Niggas got businesses, got cars,
Starting
mansions.
churches.
Yeah.
How are you going to start a church and you're in this truth? That's one thing I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to start a church and these nuclear missiles are about to come?
Yeah.
Or we're going to have to take this chip, but you want to start a church. I'm like, man, we have to go out to the wilderness. I didn't understand that.
Right. So yeah, we gonna edify on that.
Good.
All right. So the thoughts that's in our people's minds, the Lord ain't about to
Entertain
it. Yeah. Entertain it.
The Baptist church ain't continuing.
Yeah.
It ain't about to continue,
sir.
you know.
Couldn't believe he said that. I was just like, where's your mind at?
Yeah.
In the gutter.
Thinking about FRNs, you know.
Yeah.
The title changes to Israel gathered with a mighty hand. All right, this is verse 33. It says, "As I live, saith the Lord power, surely with the mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I roll over you."
Right. So hey, the way the Lord is coming, the second coming, it's gonna be terrible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And those of our people who ain't right with the Lord, that don't got that tawad, they gonna, you know, in the army they got that cadence. I'm a steamroller, baby.
Steamroller, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Rolling down the
and
line.
I'm rolling down the line.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
man,
just about to get an apartment because I know you guys are just like, hey, where you live and get it. Like, I could get an apartment. It's not a problem. But I was about to get one this weekend and those balloons showed up.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, maybe I should buy some more bug out stuff.
No. I mean, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about
We'll talk
that.
off camera.
Yeah.
We'll talk off camera.
Yeah. Go ahead, though.
It says, and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
So this is the Lord said He's going to bring our people from everybody they're scattered amongst. He's going to take us from amongst them, the heathen. All right, go ahead.
It says, with the mighty hand, I'm sorry, I read that, so like verse 35, it says, and I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
Right. So the Lord said He's going to bring them into the wilderness of the people and plead with them face to face. So when World War III happens, the elect, the 144,000, are going to get beamed up, the 1/3 going to get beamed up into the chariots while destruction happens on the planet Earth. But after a period of time, we don't know how long that period of time is, but after that period of time, because it says, then the Lord saw New Jerusalem, then He saw New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven.
Yeah,
that's the elect coming up out of the chariots when we come back down to the earth.
Yeah.
After a period of time. However long that period of time is, because we got taken off the earth while this destruction is going on. So we don't take part in it. The Passover. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's going to be the new Passover. The Lord passing over Egypt, spiritual Egypt, Babylon the Great. But that destruction, it passed over the elect of the nation of Israel, right? So once the Lord destroys this various parts of the earth, and the elect come back down to the earth,
that's the wilderness that we go in.
Well, we don't know exactly where the wilderness is, but the apostles have said before that it very well could be South America, because when you look at a nuclear target map, when you go online and you look at type of nuclear target map of the world,
yeah,
South America really isn't targeted like that.
That's what I heard.
You know what I'm saying? All over the world is, but South America really ain't targeted like that. And it's a lot of dense jungle and so on and so forth. So, the apostles have said that very well could be that when we come back down out of the chariots, Lord willing, that's where we'll be at. Because we got to gather up the rest of the Israelites.
And a lot of Israelites are in South America.
And they got to get their mind right. Yeah. Hey, this is what it is. Get down or lay down, and if you lay down, stay down. That's what we're gonna come because we're gonna have power then.
Yeah.
So a lot of them is gonna be they're gonna still want to do that bullshit. We're gonna have to make a lot of examples out of them.
Yeah.
And
I heard about that.
That's gonna have the rest of them get in fear and get in order.
It's gonna be a lot of dividing of the wheat and the tare too.
Yeah.
Because you had South America get taken over by Esau.
Yeah, that big Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Touchdown, Jesus.
Yeah. I saw that.
Touchdown! Jesus Christ! I love you!
I know what you're talking about. I saw that. Bugged out. I'm like, it's your car lost his mind. He did.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 36, it says, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt.
Right? When we came out of Egypt, what the Lord do?
He pleaded with, he talked to Moses.
Yep.
Moses had those commandments.
555.
What is 555?
Power.
Okay. Yeah, he gave him those commandments, and when Moses came back down, they were sacrificing to false idols.
Yep.
Some calves or something, some cows.
But they roamed around in the wilderness for 40 years, and that was the Lord trying them. Who's
going to follow my commandments?
Yeah. Yep.
And it took them 40 years to basically
die off.
Yeah.
That generation that came out of Egypt, they had to die off.
Yeah.
Except for, look at this nigga here.
Because they wasn't worth it.
That's a horror. You've been seeing that a lot.
That's like the second car like that. Yeah.
Man, that shit's crazy.
Shit's crazy, bro.
What scripture is that?
Verse 36. 20 and 36.
So this time, the Lord he ain't about to babysit and hold hands with rebellious Israelites for 40 years. When we come down out of those chariots, Lord willing, when we meet up in the wilderness and get our people right, it's gonna be get down or lay down, and if you lay down, stay down. It ain't gonna be no fucking bullshit.
I kind of get it now, the wilderness thing now. Maybe I should.
The wilderness don't necessarily mean desert.
Yeah.
The wilderness simply means like it's the rural area. It's the country. It's uninhabited like that.
We'll get into that also.
Nature rules out there pretty much.
There's a word I can
Uninhabited?
not uninhabited. It's like
Pampered?
Nah, I can't think of it. I can't think of how it's actually supposed to be. It says, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord power, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Right, the bond of the covenant, because we're gonna be in the new covenant in the kingdom of heaven. Once the elect get beamed up, once the missiles fly and the elect get beamed up, boom, that's the new covenant, because we're gonna have new bodies, and the law is gonna be written in our inward parts. All right, so we're not in the new covenant yet.
We'll get that harder.
We're kind of in a transition point. You know what I'm saying? But when we get delivered, Lord willing, and we get the laws written in our inward parts, that's that new covenant. We will be made perfect. We won't be subject to sin. We won't go off on none of that.
We won't suffer none of that shit either.
That's what we're gonna be pushing on. You know, the Israelites that's still down on the earth, right? We're gonna have to gather all Israel up, and hey, look, this is what it is, man. If you ain't with it, you didn't put to death.
That's right.
It says, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. And
right. And that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's a filtering process.
Yeah, and that sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Yeah. Lord willing, I'm one of those chosen. Yeah. But I will have no problem doing what I got to do to enforce the law, statutes.
Oh, we're gonna be very zealous for the law of the Lord. You know.
No problem.
The Lord has even put His Spirit on us for us to exact His judgment properly.
Yep.
The way He wants it done.
Yeah.
But I feel it when I talk to those Israelites who are preaching these false doctrines. I feel it, and it makes me almost want to get carnal. But you gotta wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord.
Yep. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord.
I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am the Lord.
Same thing. So if they don't give it the program, they're gonna die out in the wilderness. You know?
Yep.
What got the word plead?
Yeah.
And the word is
After that, we can wrap it up.
The word is Shabbat. It comes from the Strong's 8199. And some of the Bible usage is to judge, govern, vindicate, punish. It says to act as lawgiver or judge or governor, as God or of God, man, to rule, govern, judge, to decide controversies of Yahweh and man, to execute judgment, discriminate of man, vindicating, condemning, and punishing. Now let's read the definition. It says to judge, i.e. pronounce sentence for or against, by implication to vindicate or punish, by extension to govern passively, to litigate, literally or figuratively, avenge, condemn, contend, defend, execute, judgment, be a judge, judgment. That's pretty much
it's going on around in circles.
Yeah. So basically to judge or vindicate. You know, that's what the Lord's doing. So when He pleads with you, it's either He's proving you to be of His chosen or to be not.
I definitely don't want to be not.
I want to be that choice gold, not the drone.
Exactly. That's why I think when the Lord pulls up some of these old guns, He might pull up some of these cats that I was still, people I might think. Yeah. You never know.
The Lord will have mercy on them. The Lord will have mercy.
Yeah, because I don't understand how anybody can get pulled up if they're not like on board with GMS thing. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not about Great Millstone. It's about just the proper doctrine. There's brothers out there that are not directly in Great Millstone, but they teach the same doctrine. So that's all that matters. As long as the doctrine, we all got one. We all have the same mind and on the same accord. That's what it matters.
And
Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say the only reason that it's important to have the correct doctrine is because the wisdom and the knowledge is gonna be the stability of thy time. If you got something false in your doctrine, that can lead you completely down the wrong path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The march is
spiritual.
It's spiritual.
That can cause somebody to be straight up. They could be straight up destroyed because they're believing in you know what I'm saying. Everything else in the doctrine is good, but then that one thing, which is very important, splinters them off sideways. You know, so that's the importance of the doctrine.
Got it. What's up?
T. Wiggle.
I was just saying in John 17, it goes into how the Most High said, how Yahweh said to the Most High that they may be one as we are one, meaning all on the same accord, with the same doctrine, the same belief. You can't have Israelites being delivered that don't believe the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Now the Lord, He can do what He wants to do.
He can do it. Yeah. He will have mercy on whom He will have mercy.
So I said, blessed is he whom He includes not in
Iniquity. Yep.
So the Lord can do whatever He wants. You know, it's not upon us; it's upon Him. Yet and still, hey, His men are all going to be on the same page. Whether He flips your mind at the last second or not, you're gonna be on the same program with the rest of the men.
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Once again, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Quadash.
Double honors unto the apostles and elders. A great millstone. Salutations to you brothers, pushing His word in truth and in sincerity. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom. That was excellent edification. I think we learned a lot today.